Hello and welcome to the Big Bad Bike Show, a podcast where three average blokes discuss motorbike racing. This week's on Argentine Tango, but where some were dancing in the rain, others were crying a river. I'm your host, Sam McCauley, and joining me as ever is the up north biker, Ash Hall.
I'll do.
And cutting his way through the pack like a South African in the KTM to try and bring us the news is Chris Chippy Ballard.
Hello.
As always, if you're listening on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell, and that way you'll never miss an episode, as if you would want to. Just on a quick note, guys, do you like my little intros?
Yeah, they're quite good actually. They're quite.
I like it better than your current haircut.
Do you see what I did with my wee intro? Argentine Tango, dancing in the rain, because they're in Argentina, dancing around, and it was raining. I don't need to explain, man. Don't need to explain to you. Anybody that's listening, all 5 people that listen to this show, if there is even 5, let us know if you like my intros. Just send an email, podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. Just let me know. Intros, yes, no. A little bit of feedback. That'd be good. What do you mean you don't like my haircut?
You look like Charlie Bronson.
Yeah, I got a lot of that today at work. I went into work and they were like, Jesus, mate, that's tight. And the guy that was saying it to me is missing a tooth. He was like, oh, who cut your hair? I was like, who's brushing your teeth? Stay to you.
Fucking hell.
No, I just, I felt like, even though I've been trying to grow my hair, grow my beard, I just had one of them moments where I was like, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm not trying to diet as such, but I'm trying to cut out my drinking, because I'm still kind of on that whole Christmas, that sort of Christmas train where you just keep drinking. Never really stopped, so I kind of have to stop drinking. And I was like, went out and bought myself some new shower gels and smelly stuff, and I thought, this is a new me, the brand new me. So I shaved my hair, shaved my beard, and generally just tried to tidy myself up a little bit of respect. But yeah, I do look a little bit like that.
Well, that video you sent earlier of you just being angry was hilarious. But I was just like, when you sort of walked in with a polo top and like a skinhead, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, he's just come out off the set of This Is England.
Yeah, so
combo coming in.
I think we talked about it. We talked about it a few weeks ago, where Chippy had a few guests staying at his house. I think they're back again. He's getting a taste of what it's like to have kids around the house. And
yes, well, it's the first time I've seen. It's my dad and that side of the family. First time I've seen them since I got married, and they've only been up about 3 hours. But yeah. I've already been dragged away to do this podcast.
Dragged away.
Well, yeah, dragged away. I mean, I kind of wanted to do it later, when everyone was in bed, but Ash is so impatient.
Well, I'm not.
And he can't wait.
I'm on holiday, don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. You're on holiday. You've got nothing to be up early for. You could have just done it.
You're on holiday.
To bed.
Yeah, there's nothing to be doing while I'm on holiday.
Exactly.
Well,
so
there's nothing. You're on holiday. You're on holiday.
Well, no, I'm off to races tomorrow. I need to be up fresh. Get sorted.
Oh God, I'm not even getting into you and you're wearing your tweed.
I'm not wearing. Well, the only thing I'm wearing tweed is my flat cap. The rest of it's not tweed.
What time are you off to races at?
Well, to be fair, the first race is at 2:15 in the afternoon.
What, for fuck's sake?
The gates open at 11. I've got to have me brekkie and that, haven't I?
I've got a bit of work for 8 in the morning.
Oh well, don't cry. You could have come with me.
Come where you were, to the races. I couldn't think anything worse. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't think anything worse.
Races
standing there with a bunch of pretentious twats who hate their life, so they just gamble away. And then they try and dress it up by...
Not everybody goes there, does that?
No, the thing is, the races itself is actually quite good. It's the people who go that I hate.
Why?
They're the ones who ruin it. It's the people who dress up in suits and they pretend to be...
Yeah, but that's all part of the races. You dress up
I know, nice. But then they can't handle the drink, and they're just... I hate them.
You do get people
It's the
like
people that ruin
it. People like myself that go.
Exactly. You fit into that category.
I grew up in here, and I used to always go to the races, but I never used to get absolutely trashed and stuff.
I couldn't think of anything worse. Why do you have to go and gamble just to... Like, horse racing shite, let's be honest.
It's exciting.
Horse racing. Why is it exciting?
I'm excited.
What's exciting? Of the gambling. The gambling makes it exciting.
Yeah, what is exciting about horse racing? Fuck me if you put enough money in snails, that would be exciting. I've watched snail racing.
The whole
pretty exciting.
The whole day of racing, I love it. I love that everybody makes an effort to dress up nice.
Yeah,
I love wearing a suit. So
do you know why you like it?
Wear a suit is great.
Sounds like you just like being a pretentious twat.
No, I like the whole
Is Rachel
thing.
Blackmore going to be there?
I don't know.
Rachel Blackmore!
I'll never forget that. You just never shut up that night about Rachel Blackmore.
I was right there, wasn't I? She won the Grand National.
Right, yeah, she did win the Grand National.
Chippy gave everybody a tip, Rachel Blackmore, and she came in. And he was up his own ass.
And then all of a sudden he became the biggest tip master in horse racing. He's never been right since.
I was John McCreary that day.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm off to races.
Off to races. Anybody that does like races, fair play. It's everyone to their own. Not my cup of tea, as you can obviously hear. I couldn't think anything worse. Watching people ride horses. Oh.
Well, my brother's usually pretty good on getting tips for the horses anyway, so I'll just bet on what he bets.
Rachel Blackmore, just bet on her. Whatever she's riding.
She might not even be there.
Well, if she's there, bet on her.
You're on holiday too, aren't you, Chippy? Well, I say holiday. You're not working, but you're not on holiday. You're just lying around the house being antisocial as usual.
Yeah, I'm on holiday in my own house again.
Staycation in your garden.
Yeah.
With your bees. I might get a little jingle. And goes, Chippy and his bees. I swear that's all you do every week. We're supposed to talk about motorbike racing and you just come on and talk about fucking flowers and bees and shit.
Well, I had the first butterfly of the year in my garden today.
Mm-hmm.
It was a peacock butterfly. I was quite happy.
Everybody, get a pen and paper and write down. This is your gardening hour with Chippy.
Oh, well, you got excited over a butterfly. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, a little bit.
It's not even a butterfly. You took a picture of it. I'm pretty sure it was a moth.
No, it was a peacock butterfly.
It's a big bloody moth. That's what it was.
It looked like a moth.
You've not got a moth.
It's a moth. It was one of them
also
big brown
got bees
ones.
in the garden, birds, and I've got me seeds that I planted. They've now grown and outside, and I planted a load of wildflowers as well.
I hope Arthur pees and digs them all up.
He keeps walking on the seeds, so if they come through, he's just going to break them. Yeah. Arthur's my dog, by the way.
I hope he digs up all of your flowers. That'd be so funny.
Well, he's
a good boy.
I've just been going to work, just generally working. Went out on my bike for a few hours at the weekend.
A few hours on your bike?
Well, say a few hours.
It actually ran this time, did it?
An hour and a half. It's never not ran. Just need to bump start it a few times.
Jesus.
What have you got against my bike?
It's shite.
Well, of course it's shite. It's YBR125. Yes, I agree it's shite. But you keep talking about it like it's no running.
Well, no, it's just like when
because the battery drained. Because the battery drained once, and you know why the battery drained.
Yeah, and your bloody chain was an absolute eyesore, man.
Yeah, because the bike's been sitting outside for about 6 months.
Well, did you have a cover over it?
Yes, I've got a cover on it, but that doesn't stop.
Did you oil your chain?
Yes, I've oiled it now.
Yeah, like now, I said, you didn't before, and that's why it got rusty because it had no oil on it.
Well, that's because there was nobody there to look after it.
No, you just left it to die.
What should I go into detail? Do you want me to go into detail that I was out of the country for 5 months?
Well,
and there was nobody else to look after my chain? Because some of us actually fucking do the job, Ash.
Yeah, well, some people can't do the job.
Get me angry again.
Good.
My fucking skinhead and my polo shirt.
We didn't come up with a bloody forfeit. We didn't come up for forfeit for him.
Oh, yeah, we haven't yet.
There is no forfeit.
Yeah, there is.
We can't be shave his hair off.
The forfeit is
eyebrows.
Don't be spoons and eyebrows.
Yeah, I was just thinking eyebrows. He should lose an eyebrow.
Well, I'll tell you what. If one of you two, I almost said it again, want to come here and shave my eyebrows off, feel free.
I could just sit on him. And you
better move bloody quick.
You'd kill him if you sat on him.
Probably. Turn him into human jam.
Plus, you would hate to drive further down south, and you drive to Yorkshire, and you're like, I'm tired because I drove to Yorkshire. Wah, wah, wah.
It's a long drive.
Tell me about it. I do it quite often. Way past Yorkshire, further south to further north.
All right, now you try your eyes.
I look a little bit like the guy. What's that band called?
You look
The
like you've
Streets?
just come off the set. Come off the set of This Is England. That is what you look like. You look like 1980s skinhead.
Do you know who?
It looks like he's just had chemo.
Do you know who I thought about the other day? Because I had like a little shirt on. And it was a long sleeve shirt and it was checkered from like Fat Face, and I thought it looked stylish when I first put it on. But then I looked at myself. You know who I thought of? You know that American guy? You shared a video of it. The American guy he's trying to start like some sort of Miami football firm.
Oh yeah, it was that guy, wasn't it?
He was that guy. Jesus, that's who I thought it looked like, and I was like, fucking hell.
Look at my glamour. Come here.
Got some nice glamour. It's not Booker T. It's not Booker T.
It's not B.A. Baracus either.
What's that guy's name? Right, you know what we have to do? We have to share that video. We have to put that video onto like our Twitter page.
Yeah, he started a football hooligan thing called Miami Casuals, but they don't even have a football team.
Nothing to do with motorbikes, but just funny. Just funny.
Cool.
Will we get down to the actual show and stop talking bollocks?
Yeah, let's crack on.
So, a little bit from last week. First and foremost, I've got my own feedback.
Did it come in the form of an email?
No, I didn't email myself. I've just got some feedback that I want to add into the show.
Sorry, but you didn't email it, so you can't say it.
Because I'm the host, so I just say whatever the fuck I want. So, recorded the podcast. I've edited every episode, bar one, and whenever I first edited it, whenever I first did the edit, it was like, oh yeah, really good job, Sam, brilliant, really good job. Chippy does one edit, and then the following week he's like, oh, it doesn't sound very good, it could be louder, and now all of a sudden Chippy's a fucking expert. If you want to edit,
I thought that the music at the start wasn't loud enough. I was too quiet.
Well, fucking speak up on them, but
the little jingle for the news was too loud. And also, there was bits which you should have cut out.
Well, it sounds like you should stop crying like a little bitch and just edit yourself.
What do you mean?
Then?
What do you mean? There's bits you do? What bits should have cut out?
Oh, I can't remember now. I'd have to listen back.
Why should I do it? Because you two are so good at doing it.
You do nothing for this podcast. You don't even update the notes.
I've been busy this weekend. Sorry.
This is an excuse every week. Oh, I've been busy. We're all busy.
I've been busy.
Well, I'm not. But...
Right, do you want to hear the email?
Go on. I've actually been quite looking forward to this.
It's from friend of the show. Well, I think he's a friend of the show.
What? That's his name, just friend of the show.
No, I'm going to say long time listener, even though we've only got like 6 or 7 episodes. But long time listener and friend of the show, Jace Thompson's got in touch.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is what he has to say. He says, after reading your poll, I would just like to highlight that I think Daniel Gatto should have known better than to slow down like that after a race. Yes, Joe Kelso was trying to open his visor, but you don't expect to see another rider in front of you like that. So therefore, he feels that Holgado has just as much to blame for Kelso. Exactly like I said last week. And you can't deny that the poll we put on Facebook is 50-50.
Well, I think it just says more about the people that we got in our group. But I didn't say it's all Joel Kelso's fault. There's blame on both sides.
No, you did not say that. you straight up said it was all Kelso's fault. Oh,
right.
There is blame on both sides, but it is
all Kelso's fault. I'm sorry, but it is
Kelso's fault. Yeah, the majority of the blame is still with him.
If you have an accident on the road, so I know this is obviously racing, but if you have an accident on the road, whoever runs up your ass, they're liable. Are they not?
Yes, but if you don't have brake lights, then yeah, but they don't need brake lights, do they?
So what? Look where you're going. They're racing.
Exactly. Anyway, the whole point of racing is they all go in the same direction. You don't. Anyway, that's last week's show. Anyway, that was the feedback.
Anyway, Sam, Speaking of changing minds and that, what you messaged earlier about Marc Marquez?
Yeah, what's all that about?
Yeah, come on, let's have this out.
Okay, so I was looking back at last week's. Obviously, it's not last week's because last week's was Argentina, which we'll talk about later. But the week prior in Portimao, I was watching the racing back, and I do think that not just me, I think a lot of people has vilified Marc Marquez, but I'm going to pick myself. I think maybe I was a little bit too emotional last week. Let's say that. I think looking back on it, I still think it was obviously his fault. I do still think that he should be punished. I think the punishment fits double long that penalty. We'll come to that later. And but I think the way he's been vilified is not fair.
Well done. It takes a big man to own up to a mistake.
I think he went too quick. Fucking idiot.
Can I also say that we've just started a podcast, so it would be boring if we all just come on and went, yeah, Marc Marquez is great. Fuck him. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Well,
I still think he went in far too quick, and he wouldn't have locked up if he hadn't gone in that quick. So,
we're going to talk a bit more about this later on.
Yeah, I was looking back on it, and I thought back to whenever Valentino Rossi, I think it was 2011, Valentino Rossi, was it 2011 in Jerez, Valentino Rossi on the Ducati, Casey Stoner on the Honda. Rossi tried too much, came off, and I think famously Casey Stoner said that his ambition outweighed his talent, and I think the same with Marquez. Basically, he was trying to do things that he maybe could have done 10 years ago and he can't maybe do now. Plus, his bike's not good enough to do the things that he thought he could do 10 years ago that he can't do now. Anyway, we'll come to it later, I'm sure. But thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for bringing that up, Chippy. You just want it. You want it to make sure that out. But you still can't admit that fucking Holgado shouldn't have slowed down as soon as he went over the line. Absolutely not. Right, anyway.
He maybe shouldn't have done it, but Joel Kelso is still the one to blame for that.
Let's say 60-40 to Holgado.
Well, no, we'll say 60-40 to Kelso.
Right, Jace Thompson sent us an email. Cheers, Jace. If anybody else would like to get in contact and send us an email, I've already said it, but you can contact us at podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. You don't have to leave your name. You can leave a fake name, or you can just leave no name. I'll still read it out. I'll just be anonymous. It's fine. Please do get in touch. The more you email, the more bollocks we can talk. And we don't really know what we're talking about anyway, so we like talking bollocks. So I guess that's going to lead us on to the news.
Right, so there's not much news this week. I'm going to start with Marc Marquez's penalty. Not the incident itself or anything like that, the penalty. Initially, he was given a penalty of 2 long lap penalties in Argentina. He then confirmed he wouldn't be at Argentina due to a broken index finger. Then the FIM stewards reworded and reissued the penalty to say it would be served at the next GP he rides in. Honda have appealed, and now the FIM stewards have passed it on to the MotoGP Court of Appeal. And they have, I think, 4 weeks to sort it. And if Honda are unsatisfied with the result, then they can refer the case to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. So basically, because the penalty, it was worded like he would serve it at Argentina, and obviously he's not going to be there, they've then changed it to say the next GP.
Which they shouldn't have done.
You can't really change a penalty to sort of make it...
Don't get me wrong, Marquez deserves to have that penalty. He deserves to have a penalty, but because they worded it wrong, they shouldn't have changed the rules just to make it so he didn't have it in Kota.
Yeah,
it's tough shit. They made the rules. That was the policy. Tough shit, in my opinion. Even though I'm quite happy he got it anyway, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, quite interesting. There was Sergio Garcia in Moto2 got a penalty. And at the bottom of the penalty, it said, if he can't serve this penalty the next race, it will be at the next GP that he rides in. So they've learned from their mistakes, but
yeah.
obviously
Well, all
the Marquez incident.
All Honda's going to do is just keep referring it back as many times as they can until eventually the FIM just drop it, because it's just going to cause more backup. Personally,
Any team would do that.
I know they say that you're going to serve this penalty at the next opportunity, but how, if somebody gets, let's not really badly injured, like, not crippled, but if somebody gets injured fairly bad and they're out for, let's say, 4 months, which equates to about, 6-7 races, are you then going to come back and serve your penalty? Because that just...
Well,
you know what I mean?
Technically, if that's what the rules state, then I don't see why not.
Well, there was people at the first round that were serving a penalty from the last race of last season. I can't remember who it was. Did something in Valencia last season. They had to serve their penalty first race of this season.
Well, there you go. That answers the question then. So,
Yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like, you go to work, you're not wearing a high vis, somebody runs into you. It's kind of your fault because you should be wearing a high vis. You're in hospital, getting tended to, and then your supervisor walks in and goes, "You're getting a written warning for not wearing your high vis." It's like, oh yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yes.
You fucking
Yeah, I
job's
suppose
worth.
it is like that, yeah.
Sorry
Anyway,
you broke your hand,
Plenty of them.
but here you go.
Yes. Right, give us another bong.
Bing bong.
So this isn't really major news. Matt Roberts has announced he's no longer going to be presenting World Superbikes, but he will be presenting BSB. Rach Stringer will be taking over World Superbikes. Who's a good presenter? Again, it's nothing really about bikes. It's more about how we're going to watch it. But yeah, it's a bit of a I do like Matt Roberts.
I think Susie should just do all of them.
She wasn't there at Argentina, was she? Apparently she got she had some illness a few years ago, and it's one of them, like, if you contract it twice, it's like really dangerous, so she can't go to Argentina.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Nat Quirk did alright, I thought.
Nah, it's good, yeah. It's decent.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anyway,
Do you need another bong?
Another bong. Jake Dixon's wife gave birth just a day before Jake 2's podium in Moto 2. And that is about 23 minutes before we've mentioned...
well, I'll tell you what. No,
Jake
congratulations. Congratulations to Jake and Sarah, because it's been a long time coming. So
yes.
Because she obviously
that's a massive sacrifice to have to make, though, to not be there for the birth of your child.
Yeah, but he got a podium. So do you know what? Sarah would have been fine with that, I reckon. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the crap that they've been through, with obviously Sarah recovering from cancer and that, and then obviously her having the baby Summer, they've called her. So yeah, I think it's great, especially him getting on the podium as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm so pleased.
Summer
Rose.
Summer Rose, is that what they called her?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Rose. I know it was Summer, but
it was.
I think it was Summer Rose. Sounds like a wine. Hello, some Summer Rose.
That was quite a nice name.
But I named my daughter Mary Jane.
I know why you named her Mary Jane.
Yeah, we all know why I named her Mary Jane. And you know that Mary, quite contrary. She is as contrary as they come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah, well, congratulations to them both. And congratulations to Jake getting a podium class.
Oh, fantastic. And later, we'll come to that later, but yeah, just
the amount of effort he's put
fantastic.
In. Yes.
It's good to see.
Anyway.
It's good to see a British rider up there.
Final
bit of news that just come out.
Yes. So, just before we started recording, I just noticed BT Sport put something on their Facebook page about apparently Dorna and Formula One, I don't know who runs them, are considering in 2027 having their races together at the same track on the same weekend to try and get more fans involved in each sport.
Right, first of all, that's an absolutely shit idea.
Agreed.
And second, That post you looked at, I've just thought about it now. What date was it?
I'm pretty sure it was like literally 20 minutes ago. It wasn't April Fool's.
So it's not like an April Fool's.
No,
because the amount of... April Fool's is funny once, and then it's like, oh, God, just
I
fuck
hate
off.
April Fool's.
Yeah, fuck off. April Fool's, it's not even funny. It's something
ever.
shit. Anyway, that does sound like an April Fool's joke. It's a fucking terrible idea.
It does. Now I
Absolutely
can't
shit.
find it. Now I'm worried it wasn't.
We're not verified.
No. It was 45 minutes ago that it was put on the 3rd. That was it. So yeah, it's not April Fool's.
It's not April Fool's because it would have been the first, wouldn't it, in the morning?
Yeah.
It's been considered. It's to try and make more people go. Basically,
Well, it's a stupid idea, and we should throw it straight out the window.
But
the thing is, we've got.
Go ahead.
So we've got Moto3, we've got Moto2, MotoGP. They've all got to have all their sessions, and then Formula 1 isn't on its own. They've got like Formula 1. I don't know what else. They used to have like the Porsche Cup and like Formula 2 or whatever.
Formula
they have
2,
their own
Formula
sprint
3.
race as well.
Yeah, they've got so many classes that they've got to fit in. I don't see how you're going to get everybody on the track on the same weekend.
It wasn't that long ago that Formula 1 had an identity crisis. That's what they're worried about. Valentino Rossi's left, and he drew in a lot of attention. That's why they made the Marc Marquez documentary. They're trying to make Marc Marquez the new brand. But in my opinion, Marc Marquez is on his way out. He is. He's just nice.
Closer to retirement than some of the younger riders like Bagnaia.
Yeah, of course. So they should be, but they need somebody to win a few championships. They need Bagnaia to win a couple before they can make him like the face of MotoGP. So Formula 1 had its identity crisis, and MotoGP was doing well. Now MotoGP's got its little identity crisis, and Formula 1 seems to be picking up again. By 2027, it could be all changed again. Formula 1 could be on its knees, and you'd be thinking, well, why are we teamed up with Formula 1? It's terrible. It's terrible anyway. It's boring.
Yes, but I hate Formula 1.
But I guess the idea is that some Formula 1 fans might watch the motorbikes and be like, oh, I never realised how exciting motorbikes could be. But that won't happen. They'll just... do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like there'll be like a firm. 2 firms. The Formula 1 firm, the MotoGP firm.
Yeah.
Well, you're dressed up perfectly for a firm fight, Sam, so it's all good.
The thing is, I think people watch Formula 1 because they don't know any different. Like it's the easiest one to get into.
I'm sorry, but the best thing about Formula 1 is to see you absolutely binge it and then just turn it off.
My brother, my younger brother, absolutely loves Formula 1. Mad about it. But he's always been mad about cars. Always has. He never watches, like my elder brother, he's like me, loves bikes, watches bikes. Bike Daza. But my younger brother the road race that went on around the village, he would watch it, but he would never go to another, maybe Armoy road races because it's just down the road, but he would never go to like any other road race. He would never sit down and watch World Superbikes. He might watch MotoGP if it's on, you know what I mean? If I'm there watching it, he would maybe watch it, but he religiously watches F1, loves it. He's always posting about it. He should start a podcast.
I love cars, but just watching them race is boring because they just follow each other.
Yeah, I used to love Formula 1 until about 2010, and then I just found it got dull.
I did find myself a couple of years ago, whenever Hamilton was winning everything, and then Verstappen was on his heels, and there was a bit of needle between the two of them. I did find myself kind of watching it a little bit, but like the bikes always took priority. You know what I mean? It wasn't really This is what I come back to a few weeks ago. I was mentioning it wasn't really racing I was watching. It was just the drama around it I wanted to see, because that's what Formula 1. That's what Formula 1 causes. It causes drama. That's what it is. It's like, and it's almost like, I don't know. I don't understand, but it's they can. I don't know. They've kind of got this. They've got this way to cause the drama, and they've got the eyes of the world watching them, because whenever they go to the UK round or the round in America or even Canada, they get like big stars who come up and they all walk around. Like Tom Cruise turns up and he's like there with his fucking teeth going. He doesn't say, Tom Cruise doesn't sound like that. I can't do
like
Tom
Mr.
Cruise.
Bean. So Tom Cruise is now Mr. Bean.
And saying that, Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, he likes his cars, so I wouldn't be surprised if he turned up as well. But you know what I mean? It gets stars. Like Tom Cruise turns up, people pay attention. Brad Pitt turns up, people pay attention. Who turns up to MotoGP? Other MotoGP riders, other ex-riders.
So qualifying, because that is the end of the news.
Right,
that is the end of the news.
Now, I didn't watch all of the qualifying, so I was a bit busy, but I will try and...
busy taking my stairgate down.
Yes, I was taking a stairgate down, because you, like we all know, you're an impractical douchebag.
So.
Yeah. And I've not got a drill either, so...
No.
Well, go and buy a drill. They're not expensive.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'll end up putting holes where they shouldn't be.
Just watch YouTube.
Oh, and I've also got to go back. I've also got to go back and fill the holes with polyfiller, because you can't possibly do that.
Left a right mess.
Right, let's get on to qualifying before you two argue again over something stupid.
Absolutely.
Right. Leaders in the qualifying then, Chippy. You seem to know most about it. I'm going to be honest. I kept an eye on it, but I was busy doing other stuff.
Well, Alex Marquez went through in Q1. I can't remember who else joined him.
Was this before or after he went on fire?
I can't remember when he went on fire.
Yeah.
It was one of the qualifying sessions anyway.
Welcome
I didn't
to
write
the Big
that
Bad
bit
Bike
down.
Show. We have information.
We know what we're talking about. Yeah, the Big Bad Bike Show.
Yes.
Big Bad BS.
But what I did write down was the top three in qualifying all gambled on slicks, and that really paid off. But at the time, I thought they'd made a massive mistake with that.
Did Bagnaia go on slicks, or was he the only one that didn't stay in slicks? Because
sure
he went on. Yeah, but he went in slicks and seemed to have a disaster, because he went in slicks and then it said the other three were on slicks, and I was like, hold on a minute, why is Bagnaia so shit then? Why is he having such a terrible time in slicks, but everybody else seems to be the right decision?
Maybe he was just absolutely bricking it because it was still wet on the track.
Yeah, I got that impression.
But that track apparently has more grip in the wet than it does in the dry, they said.
Yeah, but not with slicks, surely.
No, not with slicks. Surely not.
Obviously, they just pushed it.
And it was the first time ever that two brothers topped.
Yeah, like both got consecutive poles, and both of them went through Q1 as well. And the only other brothers to ever get pole, not within the same week, but was Pole and Alicia Spargro.
I don't know why I said two brothers, because the word brothers is kind of plural anyway, so it suggests that there's more than one, unless they're like Siamese twins.
Oh yeah, on the GT bike. That'd be interesting to watch, actually.
Who wears a helmet?
It'd be better in the sidecar race.
Oh god.
Do talk some shite.
Yeah, we do. A lot of bullshit.
If you want to join in on the bullshit, just send us an email. We'll read anything.
Yeah, genuinely, we'll read anything.
We'll not read anything, but we're not journalists, so we're not tied by some sort of code.
Yeah, the only other interesting bit in qualifying was Morbidelli out qualifying Quartararo. That's kind of the story for the whole weekend between them two.
Yeah, he did.
Quartararo's just having such a mare at the moment. Like, I feel sorry for him because I really like Quartararo.
So do I. I like him too, but I don't really dislike Morbidelli. But
no.
I like Morbidelli.
It just seems to be working for Morbidelli and just not for Quartararo.
Well, apparently, over the off-season, Valentino Rossi spent 60% of his time with Morbidelli trying to get him back to form. So maybe that's helped him. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard.
Well, it would give you a lot of confidence to know that the doctor's there, egging you on.
The GOAT, the absolute master, and the best of all time, and will always be the best of all time.
God, get out of his arse.
Nah, I'm just, it's just Rossi in it. You can't beat him. You could with a stick, but not on a track.
Well, Marcus beat him 6 times, didn't he? Anyway.
Well,
yeah, but right, let's
only 8 championships. How many championships?
Head to head, he won more.
Well, actually,
he's already.
technically speaking, whenever Marquez was in his prime in 2015, and Valentino Rossi was on his way out, he finished higher than Marquez. So that would suggest that even when he's on his way out, he's still a better rider than Marquez.
That's still 6-0 head to head. Anyway.
Yeah, still 9 championships.
Sprint race.
Yeah, sprint race.
Giacomo Agostini's probably better than both of them.
Well,
statistically,
probably, yeah. Right, sprint race.
yeah.
Right, so I rewatched the sprint race because I know we didn't have much on it, and I'm only going to reiterate everything what everybody else has seen. But so first and foremost, you watch it back because the first time I watched it, I wasn't really paying attention to Brad Binder, but you watch it back and you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy just smashed through the whole field. I think he went from 15th to 3rd on the first lap. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And he didn't do anything outrageous. He didn't do anything dangerous. He didn't do anything that drew the attention. He just got a really good start, got to the front, and yeah, just absolutely destroyed it.
And on the KTM as well, like everyone has always slagged off the KTM for being
that KTM. I don't think is as bad as people think this year. I think it's quite a good bike
this year. It really is. I reckon it's to do with that dodgy little wing on the back. It's just it's probably got some sort of alien technology in there to make it better.
You say that you're like, the KTM's really good. It's had one good result.
I know, but it's still a good. KTM is a good manufacturer.
Well, not really.
Well, I'm not saying it's not a good manufacturer, but who won on it last week?
No, Jack Miller did well on it last week.
Oh, he did well on it, yeah.
What? He came 7th. Great.
God.
Last week, yeah. But it's still
last
good.
Week.
Yeah, it's still an alright result for him, though.
I'd rather, if I was a rider, I'd rather be on a KTM this year than a Yamaha.
Or a Honda. I'd rather be on a... Johan Mir hates the Honda so much he just keeps crashing. he's like, I'm just going to keep crashing.
Can't be arsed with this, just bin it.
Just throw on the road.
Yeah.
And for the second week in a row, Johan Zarco has had an awful sprint race. So he's on a Ducati, he's on a good bike, he is usually fairly consistent. I think he's got a chance this year, but it looks like the sprint races don't suit him.
I hope he doesn't do what Vinales did and like sort of go to that place where he has his late race pace and start going down that road.
I thought I genuinely thought the sprint race was going to suit Zarco, because whenever he was on the Tech Trois Yamaha, whenever he was on the Tech Trois Yamaha, he used to get to the front really early and he used to really try and take races by the horns, and then he would fall off, or he would just his tires would go, or people would just genuinely work him out and get past him. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's trying to be like, if he's trying to just work in consistency and no crash, or maybe it was the conditions, or maybe he's just can't find pace on the bike, because obviously I say obviously like I know what I'm talking about, but we've heard that with the sprint races they can change everything in the bike, so it's got less fuel, which means they can change the settings a little bit, you can put on really soft tyres, and it completely changes your riding style. But it changes everybody's riding style, so it's not just Johan Zarco, and maybe he just struggles to, I don't know, maybe yeah, or maybe just maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And maybe he just had a couple of bad weeks. Who knows? But
yeah, but obviously, in the week before, he did an absolutely amazing move, didn't he? And got him to 4th place. So.
Yeah. Again, late race pace. So
yeah, but maybe he's going down that path. I hope he doesn't, but let's see.
Back
what happens with
back to Yamaha again. Morbidelli was leading after lap 1, and where was Quartararo after lap 1? He was on 11th. 11th place.
He's not in a good place at the moment, is he, in Quartararo?
I'm pleased for Morbidelli, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm pleased for Morbidelli, but hopefully Quartararo can make something happen soon.
I think they said in BT Sports, or maybe it was the MotoGP app or something, that, or maybe it was another podcast I was listening to. Anyway, somebody said that they've got 2 settings for the Yamaha. One suits Morbidelli, one suits Quartararo, but they can't find one that suits both. But then they have to pick a setting that suits that weekend or suits the track, and obviously this weekend it's suit Morbidelli more. So
yeah,
but they hate to try and figure something out. None of the two of them's going to win the championship. No,
I don't think so.
And you were saying, I think you said it on the group chat, that you think Quartararo's sitting on his bike thinking, why did I re-sign my contract with Yamaha? Why am I on a Yamaha?
Yeah. Till the end of 2024 as well.
How do you think Morbidelli feels, though? Do you think he's thinking the same, or because he's not an ex-world champion, he's maybe sitting there thinking, I'm just happy to be on a factory bike?
I think he's happy to be on a factory bike, to be fair, even if it is Yamaha.
And his contract runs out this year, so he's got something a point to prove.
I tell you what, though, after this season, I'm telling you, a lot more people are going to want to go to KTM.
Yeah, they will. Well, let's be honest. I know I slag off KTM and I say Jack Miller finished 7th. Oh, that's not very good. It is. It's amazing. Thinking the word. Of course it is. It's incredible. If Jack Miller's listening, it's just a bit of banter. He's nosy. I'm sure he can take it. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before because KTM, you're right, brilliant manufacturer. Like they've won in championships all around the world. Like even
when it comes to off road as well, like off road, the KTM are king, really. I think.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me scratch my head?
Slightly.
My kids love it. It's like Velcro. Yeah, KTM. It's only a matter of time before they win a championship, a MotoGP championship. I don't think it'll be this year. But it is only a matter of time.
With KTM, then, who do you think is KTM's number one rider?
After this week, Brad Binder.
I'm gonna have to say it's Jack Miller.
Nah, Binder's been there longer, hasn't he?
Yeah, but Binder's, just because he's had a one blinder, that's the only reason you're saying Binder right now. I still think Jack Miller's their top rider.
Was it last year or the year before in Austria when he won in the wet? You know, when everyone pitted for slicks. Everyone pitted for slicks apart from him.
And Binder stayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only other time he's won a race, wasn't it? And he was sliding all over the place. I was behind my sofa that day, just praying for him. I was like, come on, because he really deserved it, didn't he? Yeah. And he was sliding all over the place. I might go back and watch that race, actually. Class.
That's such a good race, that.
I love going back and watching them old races. You see the really, really good ones, even though you know the result, you're still getting the emotion. Like I said, even when I went back and watched Argentina 2018 and Carl Crutchlow and Johan Zarco were racing for the win, I still felt the emotion. I was like, yes! Yeah, I might go back and watch that one.
I'll tell you what, in the sprint, Marco Bezzecchi was catching him towards that end. If he had one more lap, I reckon he would have had him. Because he was just gunning for him. Every lap he was just gaining on him money. Yeah,
I went on the MotoG fan page on Facebook and people were talking about how well Brad Binder did. And I agreed. I was like, Brad Binder did really well. And all I remarked was one more lap, possibly even one more corner, and Bezzecchi would have had him. And the amount of hate I got from people, they were just, stop trying to take away his brilliant performance. And it's like, hold on a minute, I'm just doing what people do.
Do you know what you should have done right there? You should have said, well, if you have an opinion, please send an email to podcast@BigBadBikeShow. We would have got some more publicity. They would have hated you, but they might have sent us some hate email.
Yeah. But it was a second and third for the VR46 boys.
Awesome.
They had a really good weekend.
Really good, yeah.
I'm glad I bought that Marco Bezzecchi shirt now. I bet they've gone up in price.
You say that. Where did Luke Marini come in the actual race?
About 10th, was he? Something like that?
You say so he didn't have as good a weekend, but
it could have been better, but I'm pretty sure they'd have taken that, the team.
Yeah, they did well. Yeah,
whatever they're doing at the VR46 Academy, that's working.
I'd say the best. Marini. I would say the best thing they did was go to Ducati. That's the best thing they've done for this year.
I think that's the best thing everybody could have done, wasn't it?
Ducati. Not say for this year, because obviously, whatever. But yeah, being on a Ducati helps.
Well, apparently, this is just going slightly off topic. Yamaha want the satellite team back, and they reckon the VR46 team's the most likely one to go to Yamaha because it's Rossi and Yamaha.
But
why would you switch from Ducati?
But I genuinely think Bezzecchi, maybe not so much Marini, but I genuinely think Bezzecchi has got title chances this year. I don't know if he'll win it. I'm not throwing that stake in the ground. I'm just saying I think he'll be up there. decent rider. Obviously, Argentina, there was a little bit of rain, changed the scenario a little bit. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but I still think he's a decent rider. He's on me a shot. He's on me a shot.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
Put him on the Yamaha. Shit. Yamaha. Yeah. The Yamaha needs to buck its ideas up a bit.
Pull the finger out their ass and sort it. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
So, are we going to move on to Moto 3?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, before the race started, Moto 3, Moto 2 riders watching replays of wet races before the race, because obviously they've got no morning warm-up, and they haven't really had that much time in the wet, which I think is why the Moto 2 race was shortened from 21 to 14 laps, because that's 2/3 distance. I'm pretty sure that was the reason why that was shortened. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the disadvantage of having no warm-up on a Sunday for them.
Yeah.
Because of the rain, was there any delays throughout the day, though? Because...
Don't think
possibly,
so.
You know. Yeah. But whenever I seen that, well, that's Moto 2. We'll keep to the Moto 3 for now. What did you all think of the Moto 3? Good race. Enjoy it.
It was good to see Scott Ogden up there.
Yeah.
I was well pumped at the start because, as you know, my prediction for the year was Dan Onchu, Onchu anyway. Dennis Onchu, not Can Onchu's and Superbikes, aren't they? Or Super Sport. Dennis Onchu. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Dennis Onchu was my pick for the year, and obviously he had late race pace back in Portimao, but he had some problems and ended up finishing fourth. But I still think with his late race pace and Portimao, he showed himself for being a decent contender. I had him pipped for pole position, which he didn't get, and then he took off like a bat out of hell, and I was like, brilliant, Onchu's going to win. My prediction's going to come true. Look how far ahead he is. The guy's about 3 seconds ahead. Well, he's about a second and a half ahead, and then he fell off.
Well,
it's a good job of not getting it. It's a good job I've not put any money on it.
My prediction for that race was Sasaki to win that when we were discussing it in the chat.
Did he fell off too? Or was it the other two?
I know, Suzuki won it, didn't he?
I think I put a message in the group chat saying no, or I was messaging Chippy because you weren't watching it, so we weren't on the group chat. So me and Chippy were messaging each other privately. I think I put a message to you saying something like, "Nobody wants to finish this bloody race. Just get to this front and fall off." That seemed to be what you want to do.
Well, I was going to read the messages, but I saw there was about like 200 on it by the time I'd come back to the chat. So I was like, do you know what? You can just do one.
Yeah. It's a shame for John Messier as well, because I feel like he's becoming the Spanish John McPhee. He just doesn't seem to quite finish it, does he?
Juan McPhee. All I did was take the name John and call it Juan.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, we can edit that out then.
I think so. Implying everybody in Spain's called Juan.
I didn't imply everybody in Spain's called Juan. I implied that the name John in Spanish is Juan. What is the name in Spanish? What is John in Spanish? I'm going to Google this. What's Juan. John in... Yeah, it's Juan. So it's not racist at all. It's just... What the fuck is that? For anybody watching, or for anybody listening, because this is a podcast, nobody can see it. Ash has just put a picture of himself on screen, and I don't even know what it is. What was that? It looked like Photoshop or something.
I was trying somebody's glasses on, and I thought I'd just do a bit of a.
And he's naked.
He's naked as well.
You're pouting. He's naked. You look really, really camp. It's scary, that picture. Do not put that online. The police will be at your door. They will be. They'll be looking in your cupboards for sweets.
No, Chippy's got all the Werther's originals. Hey.
John in Spanish.
It is Juan.
It's Juan. Juan.
Oh. Alright, soz. It just sounded odd.
Right, anyway, we digressed a little bit there. I had to...
Massively.
We'll just do a big
Massive.
edit. It's fine.
No, I'll keep that in, because...
You'll
Juan.
let me get it. Not me, not we.
Juan McPhee. Juan McPhee crashes again.
Okay.
Oh. Right.
Right, yeah.
And-
Off topic, let's go.
And back to Moto3, Brown is back again. It was a good result for Scott Ogden. British contingent within the MotoGP. He's British because he did well. If he doesn't do so well, is he Scottish? He's not Scottish, is he?
No,
Is he
he's from
Scottish?
Yorkshire.
Oh, he's from Yorkshire. Well, if he doesn't do so well, he can be a Yorkshireman then. Do you know, I am surprised
Big up
that I didn't know
Yorkshire.
that. I'm surprised I didn't know that, because I thought Ash would have told us over and over
Yeah.
again about how good.
I would have as well.
Yes,
Ash
well.
clearly doesn't know.
Yeah, he
I
obviously
didn't, to be
didn't know. Now he does know the fucking sun will shine out of Scott Ogden's ass every time
Not
Ash
really.
opens his mouth. Oh, he's
Really
from
well.
Yorkshire. He's from Yorkshire. I've always loved him from Yorkshire, even though he's on. They see next week if you start talking about how good Scott Ogden is because he's from Yorkshire. And this week, I am going to play this week back to you. Didn't even know he's from Yorkshire. Says me, I thought he was from Scotland. So's your fucking
There
much.
you
I
go.
know.
Anna Carrasco, 22nd.
Yep, still nowhere near the point,
Still
so
no
I'm
points.
safe.
Still no points. To be
But
honest, I'm starting to get a bit worried now.
We're going to keep the eye out for her anyway. We're going to keep the eye
Well,
out.
I'm not worried because I don't mind. I don't mind about giving blood. I'm not worried. It's just I want to see you do your bite test. Simple as that.
Well, I'm not getting worried in the slightest. I think it'll be a miracle
Well,
if it happens.
It's only a CBT he has to do. It's not a whole bite test.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest talking point of Moto3, the biggest talking point, even though we just said it was a good result for Scott Ogden, I think he got fifth in the end, but he crossed Chippy's. He loves that we're going to talk about this.
I'm
I
leaning
can see him.
forward now. I'm getting
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
for this.
he's leaning forward. He loves it. We're going to talk about it. He's got an ulterior motive, I can tell. And so Scott Ogden, obviously, he came across the line in fourth, but he got a 6-second penalty, double long lap. He did a double long lap, but in Moto 2, Aaron Canet had to do a double long lap. Double long lap penalty, and I think he lost about 3 seconds in total. But even though Scott Ogden, they took 6 seconds off him, so not so
Yeah.
sure. But anyway, he got a 6-second penalty. They had to do something at the end of the race. They couldn't give him a double long lap penalty for the next race because, well, they could have, but they didn't. Anyway, he finished fifth because of that penalty. And now we'll talk about Sid.
Should we
incident.
talk about the incident? Yes. Right.
Yeah, let's
so
talk,
what,
let's
what
talk about
happened?
Sid incident. Right, well, first of all, I would like to say that I didn't think... First of all, when I was watching it in normal speed, Scott Ogden's bike jerked a little, and I thought, I don't know who it was, but I thought a rider had clipped him in the back wheel, and that's what had put him out of control. I then seen it from another angle and realised that nobody had clipped him, and it looked like all his own fault. So then I went to, yes, he does deserve a penalty. Because
Yes.
he did that thing I described last week as like, you know, the Gran Turismo pass, where it's like, I'm just going
Exactly what Marc Marquez did then.
Wow.
Yeah,
It is
let's
exactly
go with
what
that.
Marc. It is exactly what Marc Marquez did. He locked the front, had to release a brake, and went into the rider and knocked him off. But unlike Marc Marquez, nobody is sticking the knife in him, as the words Jack Miller. So why it happened exactly the same? They got the same penalty. We're not just debating the penalty. The penalties are fair for Marc Marquez and Scott Ogden. The thing is, like Sam said earlier, Marc Marquez has been vilified because he is Marc Marquez. But nobody's doing it to Scott Ogden.
Right, I will agree. There is a little bit of that to it. I will agree.
There's a lot of that to it.
No, I think with the comparison to Marquez and Scott Ogden is, and again, it might be lessons learned, Marquez happened at the start of the third lap. We went the whole way through the race. There was no talk about a penalty. We went the whole way through into the next day. There was no talk about a penalty. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, the penalty was issued. It all started coming out. Like, it took so long. And that's why people were getting angry. Because if that had happened, and by the end of the race they had said, he's getting this penalty, I think tempers would have simmered. But the FIM didn't do that. And because the FIM didn't do that, people thought he was going to get away with it. Whereas Scott Ogden happened in the last lap, And almost immediately, as soon as he went over the lap, the FIM were like, that's his penalty. That's the penalty he's getting. Squashed it. That's it. That's his penalty. They didn't do that with Marquez. And you know why they didn't do that with Marquez? Because they knew it would get people angry. The FIM are playing us. They're like puppeteers. Oh, little puppets to try and get their little racing, to try and get everybody to talk about it. Oh, we love F1. No. Let's be like F1. Oh yeah. Fuck off, we're not F1. Anyway. No, you're right. Everybody vilified Marc Marquez because of who he is. I vilified Marc Marquez because of who he is. Fuck him.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I did say at the end of last week at Portimao, whenever we were writing our notes, I'm pretty sure, because we've just started a podcast and we're only a few episodes in, I'm pretty sure at the end of my notes I wrote, "Thank you, Marc Marquez," because he gives us something to talk about. How good the podcast wouldn't be very good if we all just come on here and agreed, oh yeah, Marc Marquez, yeah, we made a mistake. Of course he made a mistake. But the podcast wouldn't have been any good. And
yes.
your journalism wouldn't be any good either. Why would people read MCN? Why would people watch Checkered Flag after BT Sport if everybody's just going to agree? Why would anybody listen to any motorbike podcast if we're all just going to agree? There are people out there who absolutely despise Marc Marquez. Ash.
I don't despise him. I just think
yeah, you do. No, you
do.
Despise him. I just think he's a cheating bastard, and Rossi's better than him.
No, but we discussed this briefly tonight, Chippy, me and you and I, and you were saying it's exactly the same as what Scott Ogden did, and the way I described it was, Scott Ogden's a teenager racing in Moto3 where you kind of expect to see mistakes. You do, because they're young and experienced.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Marc Marquez is an 8-time world champion who, like you already said, he's close to
still make mistakes.
You can still make mistakes, but I'm reluctant to talk about it because this isn't.
You can forget your high vis at 18 or 36. It doesn't matter. You just forget your high vis. You forget your high vis.
So we're sticking to the building site reference.
Should we move on to Moto 2?
Let's move on to Moto 2. So, can you tell me exactly, because even though I watched the races after, can you tell me exactly what happened? Why was it shortened from 21 laps to 14? Because I don't know.
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
We've already mentioned that about 10 minutes ago.
We mentioned it, but we didn't mention why.
Just because of the rain, because none of the Moto3 or Moto2 riders had any track time in the wet.
No.
So they were a bit worried that the Moto2 riders would have had too long on the rain to know how to deal with it. So they shortened.
But then why wasn't the Moto3 race shortened, if that's the case? Surely that should have been shortened as well.
I think a lot of it must come down to whoever's providing the tyres. They maybe say to them that we don't know if the tyres can take it, or...
I thought they were all on the same brand of tyre.
Yeah, but then a Moto3 bike maybe works because it's not as big, it's not as powerful, it's not as heavy, it's not as thick. So I don't know. That's just, again, like I said, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I just like talking about bikes. I don't know what.
Brains bigger than ours have sorted it out for us.
That's why I thought it was maybe all to do with maybe the rain was slowing things down, and they were worried that it would impact in the MotoGP. So they just made a decision. Yeah. I think the Moto2 should be the one that slows it down. But then the Moto2, again, I'm just going by what journalists and stuff say, but the Moto3 bikes are more like Moto2 bikes, or the Moto3 bikes are closer to MotoGP bikes than what Moto2 are. Moto2's got a lot more electronics, or not as many electronics or something, so maybe they just turn the tyre up different.
Fair enough. So, let's get on to the subject of Jake Dixon. So, obviously, last week, Sam, you were saying, Jake Dixon, finishing 6th, shite. 3rd. Look at that.
Yeah.
On the podium.
Yeah, which highlights the fact that I was right last week.
Yes.
Last week you were all like, oh, Jake Dixon did well. And I said, no, Jake Dixon didn't do well. Oh, he did okay. But you were talking about him like he was fucking Billy Big Bollocks and he should reach in the championship trophy now. But I said, no, he didn't do... I said he didn't do well enough. I thought him and Sam Lowe should have been fighting for the lead. And hey-ho, 1 week later he gets a podium. So I was right. Jack Dixon's where he should be. So stop trying to make me the villain here. You're the one that's happy with a 6th place. You're the one that's happy with mediocre. Yeah. You're the one that's happy with mediocre results. You're the one that thinks he should. You're the one that thinks he should go to MotoGP before Pedro Acosta or before Aaron Canet.
Hang on. I didn't say before Pedro Acosta or Aaron Canet. I did not say them words.
And who do you think Dorna, or maybe not Dorna? Who do you think the teams are going to want to give their bikes to? Jack Dixon.
I understand what you're saying.
I did have a thought on this actually, because Jack Dixon's on the Gas team bike, and there's a Gas team now in MotoGP. That could be a little
stepping stone. Yeah,
could be. You never know. Probably not, but it might be.
Yeah, obviously, if he
but even then, it's on the worst bike of the grid.
If he ends up in MotoGP, I will support him. But my point is, I think Jack Dixon has an opportunity to win a championship in Moto2. And I would rather see him stay in Moto2 and fight for a championship than I would see him go to MotoGP just to make up numbers. But yeah, he got a podium, and fair play to him. And long may it last, because if he keeps it going, he could mount a challenge. I don't see it happening, but he could.
What are you doing, Chippy?
I'm adding something.
Oh yeah. I've just seen you moving around there on the old Google Doc.
You mentioned that Arbolino's consistency. Let me start that again. You mentioned, this is a mouthful, Arbolino's consistency. That's a mouthful, that. You mentioned that the consistency of Arbolino could win him the title, which is true, because we were all last week talking about Acosta as if he was just going to run away with it, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere... 12th. Yeah, he had a terrible weekend, didn't he? He doesn't seem to like the rain.
No. I'm glad though, because I don't want to run away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, do they train really very much in the rain?
No, sure they were saying... The guys in BT Sport were saying that's why the likes of Jack Dixon had a good chance, because British would ride... Well, say we.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I'm also a motorcycle rider.
Yeah, I prefer it in the wet on my YBR 125.
Yeah, I took my YBR 125 out in the rain, and then I brought it back in again. I thought, fuck that.
So what do you know why I put in there, Chippy?
He says.
I'm asking whether Sam Lowe's is under pressure because Arbolino is basically showing him up. I know Sam Lowe's.
What you mean, yeah.
Sam Lowe's isn't back to his full 100% yet, but I think there's pressure on him.
No, I think there definitely is.
I think Sam Lowe's is under pressure because if he continues to finish... I know last week as in Portimao, he got 6th or 7th, which is it's a decent result. All joking aside, it's a decent result. It's a strong result if you can back it up with a decent result the following week. But if he's gonna be between 6th and 12th and bumbling around, there somewhere, it's not really great, is it? It's not.
No.
It does kind of give the impression that you're there making up numbers, and I don't think Sam Lowe's wants to do that. I genuinely think that if everything fits for Sam, he could be a title contender. He's a really good rider if everything's working, but it's like if...
when Arbolino's pushing for podiums and getting podiums, and Sam Lowe's
even leading the championship as he could be, and Sam Lowe's is down in 12th. Is the team going to want to keep him on? Where's he going to go next year? Yeah, it does put a bit of pressure on him. Hopefully he can work with that pressure.
Yes.
And Pedro Acosta, absolute mare.
Good.
Well, not good. I like.
No, it is because I don't want. I like him, but I don't want him to run away with the championship. Just keep it interesting.
I think obviously we all know he's a good rider, but
I do want him to run away with the championship, and it's not just because I picked him for the win, but I would love to see Pedro Acosta absolutely smash Moto2 and then go into MotoGP, and everybody will be like, he'll have that hype behind him. Is he the next big thing?
I suppose.
Give you that hype. If he just stutters across the line just about winning it, similar to what Marquez did whenever he won the Moto2, but nobody seems to remember that because he already had a Repsol Honda ride anyway, because it's Spanish. But anyway, if he just stumbles across the line, it's not as exciting. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you as much hype. And let's be honest, everybody in the whole motorbike world thinks Pedro Acosta is the next big thing.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him.
He definitely is. But I would, and you probably won't agree with me on this, but I would love to see Pedro Acosta go to MotoGP on a KTM bike.
Nah.
Because he's been Moto3, Moto2, and MotoGP, all KTM.
Yeah, but that's what Ralph Fernandez did, and it didn't really work for him in MotoGP.
Yeah, but I'd like to see him on a KTM. And then smash it.
If KTM have a good year this year, and then next year Pedro Acosta goes to them, and then the following year wins a championship on the KTM. If KTM's on the upward progression, it might just work out at the right time for him to go there. And maybe KTM's in a position now. And I don't want to say anything bad about Binder or Jack Miller. I know I threw the knife in a little bit, but I'm only joking. But maybe Pedro Acosta is hungry enough to go to a KTM and actually win a championship. He might go in there and think, I'm going to ride the wheels off this thing and prove that these old men just can't do it.
Imagine he just pisses all over all the Ducatis on a GP KTM, just absolutely annihilates everybody. Well, it'd be good for KTM anyway.
He's not going to walk into MotoGP. Like, we're talking about him like he's already won Moto2.
Oh, he's already there.
No, he's not. He's not. It takes, like, let's say he could get inside his head with this week. I can get inside his head. He could go out next week and have another mare, and then that'll get inside his head more, and then he could crash because he's all inside his head, and you don't know what's happening. So it's not written in stone. But even if he does win the Moto2, I would doubt very much that he's going to walk into MotoGP and dominate in his first year the way Marc Marquez did. Because first of all, he'd need to be on the best bike in the grid.
Yeah,
but yes,
like Marc Marquez.
But yes, Spanish. He might.
Yeah. So, is that it for Moto2? You got anything more on Moto2?
Not particularly, no. Haven't got anything else.
There wasn't really anything happened in Moto2. Like, Moto3 had a little bit of drama with Scott Ogden.
Yeah, but Moto2 was obviously shorter, wasn't it? So as well, so
more like a sprint race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move on to MotoGP then.
That wasn't a good race either, to be honest. Wasn't
it started
a very
off
exciting
good.
Race.
Started off alright.
Yeah, but I was just, again, I know we mentioned it earlier, but Bezzecchi was just bloody brilliant.
Yeah, I was really pleased for him. I liked
it.
Bezzecchi.
Really was. To see him on the podium was pretty cool.
So this is the notes I've got down. Obviously, you can see the same notes. Well, I hope you can, Ash, if you're actually on there.
Yeah, I'm there. Look, organised. Yes.
Good. For a change. Yeah. So the notes I've got down here is: can Bagnaia afford to crash as much as he did last year?
Definitely.
Because I think I said it. I think I said it in a previous episode that as well as Bagnaia did last year, I still think there's a little bit of Quartararo towards the end of the season lost the championship other than Bagnaia won the championship. I think had Pedro Costa, I think had Quartararo showed a bit more consistency towards the end of the season, he would have won the title. So, and I think that might be in Bagnaia's head. I think that might be in his head. And if he starts this season the way he did last season and he crashes a few times, is Bezzecchi or whoever's going to be fighting at the top, are they going to take their foot off the gas? Or are they going to crumble the way Quartararo did? So can he afford to crash as much as he did last year? I don't think he can.
I don't think he can. Not with,
because I think Bagnaia had that in his head this weekend. I thought he went out, conditions were a bit funny, it rained a little bit, it was wet. I think he had it in his head, I believe he went to that starting grid thinking, just finish. Just stay on the bike. Don't worry if you win. Don't worry if you get a podium. Just be consistent and stay on the bike. And inevitably, he crashed. That's what I think. I think his purpose this week was just, what is it they call it? Damage limitations. Even though it's only the second race. Welcome to MotoGP. What's the new MotoGP tune? They got a new tune, don't they?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, it sounds like
it's very Formula One.
Sounds like American football, I think. Dun 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 dun. We are American.
But yeah, there's that many people that could be contending for the title this year. Yeah, he can't afford to crash this much.
Well, I think it helps that Bastianini's not there, because I think Bastianini would have been a bigger rival. Even though definitely. I don't know when he's coming back, Bastianini. I don't know if Bezzecchi is going to be a title contender. It's still yet to be seen. I don't know if the circumstances of the rain and stuff helped him, but he's on a Ducati and he seems to be a decent rider. He's got a good head on his shoulders, so I don't see why he can't mount a challenge. And it'll be interesting to see in a few weeks' time, whenever they go to Circus of the Americas in Austin, to see how Bagnaia deals with that, because it's definitely going to be in his head now. He's definitely going to be thinking about it, and see how he reacts to having crashed at Del Fondo.
He doesn't have to worry about Marc Marquez anyway, because he's going to have that penalty, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He's got that penalty.
Well, it's to be decided yet.
Nah, he'll be out.
Yeah.
It's to be decided. I don't think he's going to get the penalty.
But the thing is, they've got 4 weeks. They've got 4 weeks to talk about it, but that's going to take us past Circuit of the Americas. That 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works, but I read something that
they're still going to be arguing this whenever they go to Austin.
Yes.
They're going to be arguing this when they come to the European rounds.
Well, I read something that they don't think he's actually going to end up serving a penalty. That's what I don't know who it was, but they're pretty sure he's not going to end up serving the penalty. That it's the original one's going to stand, and it was for Argentina only. I hope that's the case.
I know we've talked about it quite a lot. I gesticulate quite a lot. We need to be live so people can see how much I gesticulate, moving my arms about and all. But I personally think, as much as Marc Marquez deserved a penalty, I think that the FIM fucked up. They said he has to serve his penalty in Argentina.
I agree.
So therefore, I think the FIM just have to realise that they made a mistake and move on, and not drag all this through the dirt, because it's going to just make because after going back and watching the race again, I do feel like emotions were high. Once you watch it back and you know what's happening, you can see that nobody was actually riding that dangerous. We were just all hyped up for the fact that it was the first race of the season. We're all just hyped up with adrenaline.
I think he still deserved to have the penalty, but obviously because of the rules things. But I agree with the rule thing, but I still think he should have the penalty.
But why? The FIM fucked up. The FIM made a mistake.
That. And I'm not disagreeing with that. The FIM messed up. So technically, he shouldn't have the penalty, but I'm glad he does have the penalty. That's what I'm basically saying.
Well, he's not got the penalty yet. He's not got.
Well, I hope it gets it.
I'm slightly different from you. I think he did deserve a penalty, but the FIM worded it wrong, and I think they have to move on now.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I basically agree with what you're saying.
Yes, I agree as well.
No, you don't. You don't agree.
Yeah, I agree with the penalty. Anyway,
we've also touched on it. You watch the MotoGP race, not just the sprint race, but you watch the actual MotoGP race, and you see how well Morbidelli did, and it brings it into question, like who's Yamaha's number one rider.
Fabio. It's definitely Fabio Quartararo. Just because.
Who even put that question in there?
Me, I put that question in there.
Nah, it's definitely Quartararo. He's won a championship.
Even though he's having a mare, he's definitely still the number one rider.
Yeah, 100%.
I have to say that. And Morbidelli's he obviously did well, but with the way.
Well, let's
Yamaha is at the moment.
let's say two or three rounds down, and Morbidelli's doing better. Who do they go behind? They have so. We're under the impression that Yamaha's got 2 settings. One's better for Quartararo, one's better for Morbidelli, and they never know which one to go with. And you get to round 4, round 5, you get to the European rounds, and Morbidelli's higher up in the championship. Who do they support more? Who are they going to support more? Just because he's won a championship?
Yes, he's won a championship.
No, let's think about it. 2 years previous, Quartararo should have won the championship. Crumbled. Then he won the championship, and then last year he should have won the championship. Crumbled. He hasn't the head for it. Maybe Morbidelli does.
Well,
Morbidelli.
Obviously, this is speculation looking into the future.
Chippy was kind of changing his mind there. He was all like,
do you know what I'm thinking? If it got to the end of the season and Morbidelli was fighting for the title and Quartararo wasn't, I think next year Yamaha will consider possibly Morbidelli as their number one.
At this moment in time, Quartararo is still their number one rider.
And I don't think that will change before the end of the season.
I don't either.
However, if Morbidelli's in a title chance, they'll probably back him more.
It's so strange agreeing with Chippy on stuff. It's
I don't like
it's
it.
a euphoric feeling of like, that's a big word for me. Fucking hell, euphoric.
that is a big word for you.
Agreeing
Can you
with
spell
Chippy,
it?
I don't like it. Probably not.
I can spell it. IT. Phosphorous.
It's off. Let's move on. Come on.
That is the funniest thing ever. I can't think of that word without laughing my ass off. Can we explain phosphorus?
No,
to
you
the
fucking
listeners?
can't.
Yes, we
Piss
can.
off.
We can.
No,
It's
maybe
2 against
we'll
1.
We'll keep that. We'll keep the listeners hanging on to that phosphorus. So
Yeah.
it's so fucking funny.
Wankers.
So all in all, not a great result for Quartararo at all this weekend, was it?
No.
Do you think, going from what you've seen, that Zarco can fight for the championship?
I don't think he can.
Not a championship. Can race for a win, but not for a championship.
Oh, he's agreeing again. Fuck.
Yeah, you're agreeing again. I disagree. I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance this year.
I don't think he's got a chance. Not for the championship. Especially with, obviously we've discussed before, he's kind of going, I think he's going the same way Vinales of getting that late race pace.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, it's weird.
I don't like it. You're fat.
You have Werther's Originals and we know what that means.
You got your own gravitational pull.
You know.
Oh, that feels better.
Yeah,
We're at war again.
Yeah. Hate you.
Please stop agreeing with me.
These two love each other. They're bestest friends. They try and act like they don't like each other. Right. I think Zarco can fight for the championship. I honestly do, because he's consistent. He's consistent. If he stays consistent, while all around him, people.
I cannot see
battle.
him winning the championship. I just cannot.
I think he's consistent, but he's not consistently good enough. I think he's like consistent around sort of like 6th and 7th, around that sort of. He needs to be consistent at a higher.
You can't
level.
see Zarco fighting for the championship, but you think Ana Carrasco's going to win Moto3.
Well, yeah. I had to pick somebody out. You know.
Out of everybody you could have picked, though, she was the worst you could have picked.
I'm trying to go for the power of the women.
You know, whenever we say that we're the big bad BAS or the big bad bike show and we don't know what we're talking about, we say that a little bit tongue in cheek. But whenever Ash says he thinks Ana Carrasco's going to win the championship, he does actually make it look like we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I think he just said it to annoy Chippy, because we all know Chippy's sexist.
Yeah, he doesn't like Ana Carrasco. He doesn't like women. Just doesn't like women, does he?
Anyway, you've got a bet on Alex Marquez to win the championship, and Johan Zarco's ahead of Alex Marquez by 2 points.
Yeah, but I just don't see him winning the championship. I don't see him there.
To be honest, I don't see Alex Marquez.
No,
Well, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think he'll win the championship. I kind of did that bet as like a money-making thing because I can still cash out for about 30 quid profit.
Yeah, I think you should cash out sooner than later, mate. I really do.
Yeah, I know. I was starting to think that. I'll see how he gets on in Circuit of the Americas.
I think Marquez might win that. Marc Marquez, no, he's got a double long lap penalty.
Is that
well? If he does,
that's right. That's right.
If he has the double long lap penalty, if he has to serve that, he's not going to win it.
I'm with Chippy. I don't think he's going to serve it. I don't think he'll have it. I don't.
He probably won't serve it, but if he doesn't serve, even if he doesn't serve it, I don't think he's going to win it.
He's good round Austin.
He'll be up
he
there,
is.
yeah.
That's his track. Everyone knows that Cota is his track, but I just don't think he's going to do it. He's got a fractured little finger. You know, he's not going to do it.
Index finger, not little finger.
Oh, sorry, index finger. That means you just can't have a wank properly.
You have to use your left hand. It's a bit strange. That message you put the other day, Chippy. We were talking the other day. What was it, Chippy? You were saying? Oh, we were talking about haircuts. No, we're talking about haircuts.
Oh.
You were saying that you had a haircut and you hate small talk, and we were talking about getting your haircut.
I hate it.
And having to make small talk.
I'll go for a haircut, yeah.
I like chatting to the barber.
No, I hate it. I go there for a haircut. Just the only thing I want to say is hello, mid-skin fade, finger length on top, and that's it until it's done. Thank you, 10 quid, 15 quid.
That's it.
See you later.
Anybody listening, really sorry if you want to get back to the bike. This is massively digressing, but it's funny. Do I hate about getting my haircut is, even though I'm sitting here completely shaved, like face all over, but I hate getting a haircut is, there's always that point, it happens to me, where they cut your hair and they always take little breaks to drink a coffee or to wash some kit, and they cut your hair and at one stage you're looking at it going, yeah, it looks really nice, I like that, and then they come over and they continue cutting and you're like, oh shit, I should have said something, and then you don't say anything, and then they're like, oh, you like it, and you're like, oh yeah, I like it 5 minutes ago before you kept cutting.
I like
you know what else annoys me as well?
It's good.
Something else that annoys me is they talk to you, try and have a conversation with you, but as they're talking, they've got the razor right by your ear, so all you got is zzz in your ear, and you can't hear a word that they're saying.
Yeah, cheaper than a therapist, your barber.
It's what. Oh, I hate talking to him though. We start just rambling on about bullshit. Oh, Martha.
Unless it's a really good, interesting conversation.
Yeah, I said
I'm
to you.
Happy.
I said to you in the group chat, it goes, when it comes to I don't do small talk, it's either hello, shut the fuck up and cut my hair, or we're talking about the deepest, darkest thoughts of the universe. I just like to go straight and deep. You know, yeah. I like my haircuts like I like my porn. Deep. That's it. Straight and deep. And that's what you said. You were like, I hate small talk because it's like the only thing you can absolutely guarantee that men have in common is porn. That's the only thing you can, like, they might not like bikes, they might not like football, they might not like bees and gardens and whatever, but you can almost guarantee that all men watch porn. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, what was that about your watch? You said something about your watch.
Well, I started wearing it on the other wrist this week, and it feels really weird. It's like having your shoes on the wrong feet.
But why have you done?
Well, the thing is, because me and Nicola have this like Apple Watch thing, and we sort of like compete of who burns the most calories and blah blah blah. Anyway, she wears it on her left hand.
I know what he's going to say.
No, get that. No, she wears it on the left wrist. Right, and she's left-handed. I wear mine on my left wrist, but I'm right-handed. So I was looking the other day, and my left arm doesn't do anything.
So Ash is right.
No, my left hand just assists the right one with whatever it's doing. My right hand does all the work.
I bet it does.
You're just digging yourself a bigger hole here, Charlie.
Anyway, that's the reason why I changed it onto my right wrist, so I burn more calories.
So you've put your watch onto your right wrist so you can burn more calories when you're doing workouts or whatever. I'm using inverted commas, air commas here, you know. Oh. Jesus Christ, Chippy.
Anyway,
so basically, whenever you put your goal into the chat, they're going to know that you've been really busy that week.
Back to MotoGP.
I can't even remember what the fuck we were talking about. Where were we?
Bezzecchi.
Oh, did anybody think Bezzecchi was going to be leading the championship after round 2?
No.
Genuinely.
I'll be honest, after Portimao, I was a little bit afraid that Bagnaia was going to run away with it. He still might run away with it. He still could.
Yeah.
One bad round, but
I wasn't expecting him to be leading. Not. But I'm glad I bought that discounted Bezzecchi T-shirt now because he's doing well, isn't he?
Why? It's not an investment. It's not going to go up
It might
in value.
It might.
It really won't. Would you consider Bezzecchi to be Bagnaia's most likely title rival this year?
Ooh.
I don't know. It's definitely going to be a Ducati. We know that.
Yeah. And Bastianini's going to miss a few rounds, so it's looking less likely to be him.
So that kind of...
I don't know. That's a difficult question.
So that leaves... It's not going to be Luca Marini. It's not going to be Luca Marini. I don't see it being Jorge Martin. I think these title rivals are going to be, and ironically, the people at the top.
Not Zarco.
Well, that's one of them I was going to say. I think his title rivals are going to be Bezzecchi, Zarco, and Marquez, Alex Marquez. But I think Bezzecchi's probably looking the stronger one out of them.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
Yeah.
Why not Zarco? What have you got against Zarco?
We have nothing against Zarco.
I like Zarco.
I like Zarco, but he's not going to win the championship, Sam. It's not happening.
He might. I fucking hope he does.
Do you know what? I hope he does. I hope he does.
Yeah, I'd love it if he did.
But I don't think he is going to.
If Zarco wins the championship, I was thinking of this the other day.
Go on, let's have another bet.
Not a bit. I'm not saying if he doesn't win I say if he does win the championship. If Zarco wins the championship, I might get a tattoo. Not of Zarco, but I might just use that as like the universe is telling me to get.
What, a tattoo of what?
Well, I'll keep that to myself for now.
We've spoke about this before. I think you've told me what you actually wanted to get.
I've probably. This is why I never want a tattoo though. To keep changing my mind about what I want.
Right. If it's the one we spoke about, then yeah, I know what it is. But
I'll just
keep the better than Ash's tattoo.
Keep the tattoo idea to myself. But yeah, I was thinking if Zarco wins the championship, I might be like, fuck it, I'm getting a tattoo.
Number 5 on his arse cheek.
Backflip on my butt cheek.
Just a tattoo of him doing the Flying Frenchman.
Yeah, backward swan song. So who do you think his biggest title rival is going to be? Do you think it's going to be Marquez or Bezzecchi?
I think Bezzecchi.
I think Bezzecchi.
Oh, stop agreeing.
I'm sorry,
please.
If I do. He's looking really strong.
Right, Brad Binder. That's my. That's what I'm going to go
Fuck off! It's not going to be Brad Binder. Where's your head?
You absolute fucking idiot.
No, it's going to be Bezzecchi, I think.
Yeah, I think it will be.
I thought after Portimao, I thought or Maverick Vinales maybe, but he didn't seem to do that well.
Yeah, it's early days though, still in it, so we'll have to see.
Very early days.
No, it's not going to be Jorge Martin. He only. I know it's only 2 rounds, but he's only got 22 points. He's down
not
in
consistent
7th.
enough either.
No, he's not. Yeah, it's not consistent enough. A great rider, and I like watching him. But
Franco Morbidelli is 3 points ahead of his teammate.
And he's on a
Yamaha. He's Yamaha's number 1 rider, but it looks things.
Nah, not having that.
Not till the end of the season.
Right. So,
right. Without looking, can anybody tell me who's at the bottom of the championship?
Oh,
Takanakigami. That's just
Takanakigami is in 15th.
Oh, right.
Has everybody scored at least 1 point?
Looks like it. Yeah, all 20 have scored at least 1 point.
Oh. I'm going to say Augusto Fernandez.
Augusto Fernandez. Who's Augusto Fernandez? There is no Augusto Fernandez.
Yes, there is for Tech 3 Gas.
Augusto Fernandez.
Although the way you said that, I'm now thinking it could be.
Right, there is an Augusto Fernandez. He's in 14th. He's got 8 points.
So he's
That
above
must
mine.
be Raul Fernandez then.
Who do you think, Ash?
Well, I said Takanakigami, but he's 15th, so I'm already out.
Raul Fernandez.
Marc Marquez is 16th because he's shit. Yeah, as Raul Fernandez, he's got 2 points. And Above him with 1 point is Miguel Oliveira because Marc Marquez crashed into
Wiped him out and destroyed his career, yeah.
And Johan Mir, he just hates being on the Honda, so he just keeps crashing.
You don't want to be world champion again, he just keeps crashing.
He's like, I don't like this bike, just throw it up the road. Yeah, so.
Cool.
Anything
else on
MotoGP? I've got another one there.
Go on.
Fabio Di Gianantonio. I expected more from him. He's like 17th.
When he moved up from Moto 2 last year, I didn't see why he moved up, how he got a ride, because I don't think he wasn't that good in Moto 2, and he's still not good in MotoGP. He's very overrated. He must have a lot of sponsorship money.
Right, listen to this. Think. Right, so you've got first place, second place, third place, and fourth place are all Ducati, right? And then you've got Johan Mir, who's 7th on a Ducati. And then Luca Marini, who's 11th on a Ducati. And then you've got to go the whole way down to 17th to get to Fabio. Oh, he's on a Ducati.
I don't rate him.
He should be higher up. I know Ducati's not the be-all and end-all, but you'd think being on a Ducati that you'd be higher up.
He might not last. Well, how long's his contract? Do we know?
End of this year, I think.
Well,
he's only 1 point ahead of Johan Mir, and I don't even know if he's finished the race. Well, obviously he has. He's got 5 points, but
yeah.
Anyway, I'm pretty much finished with MotoGP if everybody else is. Yeah. Unless anything else you want to say. Speak now, forever hold your tongue, or until next week until we drag it all up again.
Nah, I'm all good.
Right. What are we moving on to next?
I think Chippy should lead with this because he's the one that's clued up on it the most.
It's the best time of the year.
Rubbing my hands, getting excited.
British Superbikes is about to start.
I'm actually tempted to take myself down to Silverstone this weekend. I can't really, but I might do it anyway. I can edit that bit out.
Yeah. I don't really like Silverstone, if I'm honest.
I know, but still, we're doing a motorbike podcast, so I feel like it would be nice if one of us could go there. And I'm only like an hour and a half away, so I might go down on a Sunday. But it's Easter Sunday, and my wife, who tries to do family things, and I love it, but she's going to be all like, oh, let's do family things. And I'm going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, do what?
Have a family day to Silverstone.
Yes, let's go to Silverstone.
Do an Easter egg hunt at Silverstone.
Yeah, but
fucking Easter eggs. I fucking hate Easter. It's the biggest pile of bullshit. Now they're bringing home Easter cards. They're bringing Easter cards home from school. Oh, look, Daddy, I made an Easter card. Fuck off. Fucking bad enough at Christmas with all this shite coming home. Some of the fucking shit they bring home is absolutely ridiculous. I drew a picture today. No, you drew a line on the picture, and your teacher's too afraid to tell you that you're fucking shit at drawing. So you bring it home to me, so I hate to tell you you're shit at drawing. Can't you draw any pictures? You're not going to be an artist. Oh look, Daddy, I made some.
Dad of the year.
Did you see that? You see that thing they brought home the other day? I showed it to you in the group chat.
With them straws.
So,
yeah.
For the listeners out there, they had this. For the listeners, probably like my mum, they had this. They cut this like 2 litre Coke bottle, so that it was like the big plastic cylinder bit, and then they rolled up all these pieces of paper and stuffed it in there, and it looked like almost like a thing of honeycomb maybe.
A bee hotel they call it, don't they?
Yeah, they're like, this is a bee hotel. And I was like, well, first and foremost, it's made out of paper, so what the fuck's it going to get wet outside? That's fucking stupid. And every time I suggested throwing it away, my daughter started crying. And I'm like, oh, cheers, teacher. Thanks for sending this fucking crap home. Now I hate to sit with it in my house like it's a prized ornament. This piece of plastic, we rolled up bits of paper in it. Taking pride in fucking peace. What does he call it? Taking pride in my house. It's just shit.
So you went on video and destroyed it for us.
That was after about 3 weeks.
And then did you launch at the dog as well?
Yeah, the dog was looking at me funny. But by that stage, it was just an empty bottle, so it kind of just flew through the dog. Have you ever seen that painting with the dogs? They all turn up and they're playing cards. You know that famous painting?
Yes.
I imagine my dog there and all the other dogs talking about their owners, and my dog being like, "How long? Is that how owners really act?" And they're all like, "Yeah." Does yours not do that? And he'd be like, "No." I think my owner's weird. Yes, I'm weird. Is your owner started putting his watch in his right hand when he does that thing? Yeah. Sometimes my owner makes me lick it.
All right, to be honest, I'm muted to go for a pee, and now I've come back to my owner's going to make me lick it. What the hell are you guys on about?
Oh, we went on a wormhole there. We went travelling. Right. So
okay.
Back to bikes.
Yeah, British Superbikes is coming on this weekend. Can't wait.
Yes.
What have we got about the British Superbikes? Obviously, we've already mentioned that Silverstone. Chippy doesn't like Silverstone because he just wants to be one of them guys that doesn't like the good stuff.
I'll tell you why I don't like Silverstone, because it's just a dead flat track. Like, it's an old airfield, so there's no hills or anything. There's nothing interesting about it. There's no like famous or like really famous corners. It's just a boring track. I honestly think Donington Park and Cadwell, if it was wider, are much better tracks. Brands Hatch, they're all better tracks. But because the Formula 1 and that go there, they've got all the facilities, and that's the only reason why Silverstone...
Right, Chippy, how do you pronounce it?
Silverstone.
Sam, how do you pronounce it?
Silverstone.
Silverstone.
How do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Silverstone.
Oh, God, please stop agreeing with me.
Weird.
So you say Silverstone.
I've never heard it called Silverstone before.
Just doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, Silverstone.
Silverstone.
Anyway.
Yeah, but... There you go. What do you want me to call it? Silverstone. Silverstone.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep calling it. Silverstone.
No silver stones in there.
Anyway, so you think they just shouldn't go to Silverstone? They should just...
Well, no, I mean... Well, no, I suppose you've got to go there because it's Silverstone.
Of course they got to go.
And yeah, it's the national track as well, so it's shorter. I don't mind the national track as much. But the full track, I hate it.
I understand what you mean. There's obviously... In the worldwide
it's just featureless.
Yeah.
It needs more than just being flat. It needs a hill.
But then again,
speed bump in it.
What you like and what we like and what other people, especially in UK and Britain, like, because we're used to going to these smaller, narrower, hillier courses. It's maybe different from what the rest of the world likes. They may be like flat, wide,
boring
courses.
Boring.
Yeah.
Maybe what they like. But you said they got the facilities there, so maybe that's what they like. The facilities.
Yes.
I might go to it this weekend. I'm not promising anything. Got to ask
the boss.
I think you should.
I'd do that. If I lived closer to it, I would.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I'm still probably going to go to Knock Hill, I think.
Well, I'll be going to Knock Hill.
Oh yeah, this is another thing. So I know we're digressing again, but you mentioned Knock Hill, you were going to go, and then for some reason now Chippy can't go, and all of a sudden then Ash is like, well then I'm not going, because he thinks it's weird to go to a motorbike race by yourself. Why is it weird?
I just think it's weird.
It's not weird. I'd prefer it on my own.
I know you would, because you're an antisocial prick.
There are some weird things to do. Like, I'm a bit weird, I'll be honest. I like to go to the cinema by myself. Not on a Saturday night, whenever they're doing smoocheroos in the back. But, you know, and like a Tuesday afternoon, if say I'm off work and the kids are at school and, you know, my wife's working and I've got a bit of time to myself, you know, I take the watch off my right wrist and then I like to go to the cinema by myself. And you usually walk in there and there's maybe like you and one other weirdo sitting in the corner. I walked in once and the guy was sitting with a pen and paper. Maybe he was doing a podcast. Fucking loser.
No, but for me,
yeah,
if I'm going to some sort of event, like something big, like the bikes or whatever, it's nice to have somebody there to, you know, chat to, or walk around the paddocks with, or whatever, and have a laugh. And
yeah, it's nice, but I wouldn't not go just because you don't have anybody to go with.
Well, I wouldn't. You wouldn't catch me like Comic-Con, for instance. We've spoken in the past. I've been to Comic-Con. I wouldn't go to Comic-Con on my own. It's just weird. I just
Why not?
Because you have someone there. It's just better. It's a better atmosphere.
But the bikes. Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't go to. Why you wouldn't go to?
Would you go to a football match on your own?
No, absolutely not.
What would you do on your own? Would you go to the supermarket on your own? Do shopping?
Oh yeah, do supermarket because you're there specifically to
Would you walk into a Costa coffee on your own? Or other coffees are available.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
bullshit.
I wouldn't sit in and have a coffee on my own.
Oh, I love doing that. I like taking a book. I like sitting down with a book.
Oh, I hate people like you.
I love it.
In Costa all day, pretending to do something important on a laptop.
Yeah, sat on a laptop typing absolutely nothing.
No, I wouldn't take my laptop because I would have to show everybody how shit I am at my laptop. I'd be like, "Would you like another coffee? Can you please tell me how to turn on my laptop?" That's what I'd be like. I'd be sending Chippy messages. Chippy, can't get my microphone to work again.
And then a thing on the news saying a man went crazy and threw his laptop through Costa.
But I do like. That's why I like Nero's, because it's usually where Waterstones. I like going for a coffee and sitting down with a book.
God.
Do you know why? Because I love I love the weird jazz music they play in the background whenever you just sit chilling out reading a book, drinking a coffee at your leisure.
No, I can't read. So.
Yeah, we know.
I enjoy reading, but I wouldn't do it.
Phosphorous.
Do you know what? We may as well just talk about it. Just do it.
So we were. This is a few weeks ago. I don't know what we were discussing, but the word come up about Ash not spelling words correctly or not having bad punctuation, which none of us are really good at it, but we were picking on Ash at the time because it was just his turn to get picked on. We were talking about dictionaries and using big words, and he said I don't have a phosphorus, and it took ages for me and Chippy to wonder what the fuck he was talking about. He's going on about phosphorus, and we all know what phosphorus means, and then
it's
eventually,
an explosive
I don't know. I don't know if it was Chippy or myself worked out, but we realised that what he really meant to say was thesaurus.
And it was that picture that Chippy put up of that dog with the teeth on it.
That meme.
Yeah.
And now, anytime I just hear or see the word phosphorus, I'm bits. Just go back to think about that. That was so funny.
Yes, I'm not very. What is it? Illiterate? Is that the right word?
Articulate. I don't even know if that's the right word.
Yeah, I'm not good with words. Let's put it that way. But yeah, that's that out now. Out because people would have maybe been listening, thinking, "What were they talking about? Phosphorus." But carry on with the British Superbike.
But I still don't understand why you wouldn't go to. I don't understand why you wouldn't go to a race by yourself, or why you feel so weird going to a race by yourself.
I don't know. I just wouldn't.
Obviously, I don't want to be sexist because there are loads of women that go and loads of kids and stuff go, but there's quite a lot of dudes here there, and you've no idea if they're with somebody or not. A lot of dudes just kind of stand around, program in their back pocket, over a cup of tea in their hand, watching bikes.
Yeah, and you don't care whether somebody's there or not with somebody. So why would they care about if you're on your own?
No, I'm not bothered about what people think. I'm not bothered about what people think. It's the fact that I just like to have somebody there to chat with, as well.
Yeah, but it's 2023 and we've got phones. You've always got somebody to chat with.
No, that's just weird. Even weirder. I'm going to go watch the bikes and just speak to someone on the phone. No.
Not talk to them on the phone. Send messages. Oh, I can't believe it's happened. Take notes for the podcast.
Or my mates could just come to the bikes with me.
I went to a cricket game once in India, and a guy in front of me was speaking Hindi. I think it's Hindi they speak, something like that. And no, anyway, this Indian guy, in his native tongue, just rambled on the whole 8 hours. It was a 50 overs game, and he spent the whole time telling this other guy on the phone what was happening. I was like, that was absolutely mad.
Yeah, exactly. And
Crazy.
I look like that guy. No.
Nothing happens in cricket anyway.
No, cricket's shite.
Anyway, how the hell did we get to this from British
I don't know.
Superbike?
Let's get back on the British Superbikes.
Right, so let's go over the fact that Ash can't do anything by himself. So, going to Silverstone. What have we got down? First race, Silverstone. Lots of rider changes, Chippy. You got to fill us in on that. I know we've already done it in the past episode, but let's do it again.
Well, we did that with MotoGP. This is for British Superbikes. So, Beermont's Ducati, which is Paul Bird Motorsport, have got Glenn Irwin back. He was riding for Honda last year. And they've signed Tommy Bridewell from Oxford Products Ducati. I think they're both going to be up there for the title favourites. McCann's Yamaha, obviously they lost Taz McKenzie this year, so they've stuck with Jason O'Halloran and got Tim Neve from Superstock 1000. Oh, God.
And you say I have outbursts on this freaking podcast. You're there dancing with your freaking cat.
I'm really sorry, Chippy. The cat's just annoying me, so I just introduced my cat to everybody in the podcast. Sorry, Chippy. Do you want to start again?
Anyway, I'll start again completely.
No, do it. You start wherever you want.
Okay, right. So next we got Oxford Products Ducati have signed Christian Idden, who was at Hawk Racing last year on the Bill Bay Suzuki, as they were known back then. OMG Yamaha, they lost Brad Ray after he won the championship. He's moved up to World Superbikes, so they've got Kyle Ryder staying with them, and they've got Ryan Vickers from Lee Hardy Kawasaki. Cheshire Mouldings Kawasaki, obviously they lost Rory Skinner to Moto 2. They've stuck with Lee Jackson and got Max Cook, good young rider. Honda Racing have re-signed Andy Irwin from Cinetic BMW and Tom Neve. They've stuck with him. FHO BMW got Josh Brooks. They signed him from PBM Ducati and sticking with Peter Hickman. Hawk Racing, Charlie Nesbitt is staying with him after a good few appearances last year. And they've got Josh Owens from Rapid CDH Kawasaki. Tag Racing Honda have got Hector Barbara. Cinetic BMW, Danny Buchan. Lee Hardy Racing, Brad Peary. And Rocket BMW, Leon Haslam. And then just a few others. Got Jack Kennedy, 4-time British Supersport champion. Dean Harrison, Luke Mossey, Luke Hopkins, Liam Delves, Jack Scott, Davey Todd, and Storm Stacey.
Fuck that sort of. I was sick of hearing your voice.
Thanks, mate. So as I said, we've lost Brad Ray, Taz McKenzie, and Tom Sykes to the World Superbike paddock, and Rory Skinner to Moto 2.
Tom Sykes, get off.
That's the changes. The only other team change is Hawk Racing have switched from Suzuki to Honda.
Beep, beep, beep.
Cool.
Yeah, groovy times.
I know it was towards the end, but Storm Stacey, what a name. Cool. Storm Stacey.
I'm pretty sure he's from Wiltshire as well. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
Sounds like a porn star.
Right, well, we had an email. You mentioned it earlier. We had an email from Harvey Price. And his first question was predictions for BSB round 1. That was his first question.
As in race winners?
I guess, yeah. Or just predictions. He
Ride.
just said he has just asked predictions for BSB round 1. I think it's going to rain. That's my prediction.
Funny. I think it'll be odd Glendog.
No, I think Kyle Ryde will win all 3. Or maybe not all 3, but two at least.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with who I picked for the...
There was a name you said in there. Fuck, I forget.
I can go through him again.
He said him. No, don't make him go through him again, for fuck's sake.
I don't know if it was the British Superbikes. Hector Barbara, yeah. Hector Barbara,
Yes.
that's a name I've not heard that. I've not heard his name in years. Where's he been?
I think he raced there a couple of years ago for... I'm sure it was Tag Racing then as well. but he did nothing. He was like down sort of 16th in the pack. And they also had Tito Rabat as well last year for a couple of rounds.
Tito.
They seem to sign all these ex-MotoGP riders, but they never do anything on the British.
What's realistically, how much of a chance does Leon Haslam have?
I'm going to say not a majorly good one.
I don't know. I really don't know. He didn't do that well last year. But that could have been the team. I don't know.
And he's on a BMW.
It's what I like about British Superbikes. It's wide open.
So everyone's favourite track then? Where are you looking forward to the most?
I don't really have a favourite, to be honest, when it comes to Britain. Well, probably Thruxton, because...
Chippy?
Either Donington or Cadwell.
No, it's got to be...
Is Thruxton not supposed to be the quickest one in the circuit? On all of them. Supposed to be really quick.
I'll have to say Cadwell myself. That's only because I've got really good memories from Cadwell as well.
I do like Cadwell.
Thruxton's on the 11th or 13th of August, and Cadwell's on the 26th and 28th, 28th. So we could maybe do a double header and do Thruxton and then do...
I can't do the 26th to 28th because my wedding anniversary is the 27th. And it's also my dog's birthday on the 26th, and I'm not missing that.
Well, Thruxton's on the 11th to the 13th of August, and it's my wife's birthday around that time, but I still might go to Thruxton. But the MotoGP...
I'll be up for going to that.
The MotoGP's on the week before that, and she was like, you have to pick one. It's either the MotoGP or it's Thruxton, either one. And I'm like, yes, sorry, please.
Yeah, but if we go to the British Superbikes, then we can go with Hawk Racing. Yeah.
I like Brands Hatch. I think there's something like majestic about Brands Hatch. Like you've got Donington. I know you got Donington, and you get Silverstone. You got that, but I think Brands Hatch. There's something about Brands Hatch I really like.
I love.
Is it Neil Hodgson that reckons it's like the best track in the world? I can't remember. Someone quite famous says that Brands is the best track in the world.
I'm not sure.
Don't know. Do you remember that show that Matthew Kelly used to do called You Bet? Does anyone remember it?
No, I remember.
No, I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
You Bet.
Right, brilliant show. You Bet was class, and I don't know if it's in the documentary, but were you aware that Barry Sheen went on to race lorries, trucks?
Didn't know. No, it wasn't in the doco that I watched on BT Sport.
Was the Daytona crash in there?
It was, yeah.
Digressing a little bit. Anyway, yeah, Barry Sheen went on to race trucks. He went on to be a truck racer. I don't know how long it lasted, but he went on to You Bet, and I think it was Donington Park. Please correct me if anybody knows different. Email podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. But he went round in a truck. He went round Donington Park blindfolded. He knew it so well. He knew the track so well. He went round it blindfolded in a truck.
Man, that's cool. If that's true, that's pretty cool.
No, that's definitely true. You can see it on YouTube.
All right.
Obviously, they can edit stuff and even that show, but
yeah,
if you believe You Bet, then You Bet was class.
No,
never seen it.
So, is anybody going to throw a name in the hat for who's going to win the first round at Silverstone?
Kyle Ryde.
Glenn Irwin.
Well, there's 3 races. I'm going to say he's going to win at least 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm not as well.
I'm not either. I know what you're going to say.
I'm going to say, I don't even know. We're getting to that stage in the show where we just lack the effort and we just talk absolute bullshit to get through. Well, I like British Superbikes, that's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brands Hatch, I was passenger on a sidecar on there. That was class. Really
yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Sounded class. We can keep that awesome. another time. I'm going to say Glenn Irwin. Fuck it, that's who I'm going to say.
Just
Glenn Irwin.
That's fine.
All right then. Fucking Dean Harrison then.
Fair enough.
Are you really going Dean Harrison?
No, I want Glenn Irwin to win. Right, here's another question that was sent in by Harvey Price. Now, you'd probably be best to lead with this, Chippy, because you know more about the British Superbikes and what's going on in the paddock. It says, thoughts on the new Supersport Cup class, where riders have to miss 3 rounds of their own choice.
Oh, he messaged me something about this, but I asked him to update me on it because I haven't heard anything about this. But he never did.
Thoughts on
I don't have any thoughts on
Supersport
this.
Cup class, where riders have to miss 3 rounds of their own choice. That sounds a bit strange. Is that trying to suggest that there's another cup but they have to step out of their own class to take part in it, or where there will be 3?
I'll try and find out.
Or maybe you have to miss out in 3 rounds throughout the year, and you have to choose which ones you want to miss out on, and maybe you can do it strategically. I don't know. You need to look more into that. And he's also given an answer for the Who Am I.
Has he? That's shite.
So Harvey mate, we will try and answer your question either. Well, probably be next week. We'll try and dig more into it and get more understanding of what it is you're asking, because as you can say, we're so professional at this podcast, we know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And we'll give you an answer next week.
Cool. Are we going to move on to the Who Am I then?
Yeah, I just put in for BSB, but we've already covered it, the fact that I'm a thicko and I still don't understand the showdown and how it works.
I wouldn't even be able to begin to tell you about that.
I am going to sit down this week and I am going to read all about it and see if I can get my head around it.
I'm just going to watch the bikes go around.
I know the whole point of it. There's more points up for grab, and therefore even towards. But I don't understand that's why it's just the top 6.
It's not anymore. That was last year. So the top 6 last year, basically, is it the top 6? I'm sure it was top 6. They got to a point where they'd be given like an extra 1,000 points or 500 points or something. So basically, it was only them in the championship chase. Then it all went on podium points and stuff like that. That's no longer the case. It's pretty much anybody can win it. It's just, I think, again, I don't know the ins and outs. It's basically towards the end of the season, there's more points available for a win. So even if you're further back, you can still leap up amount of title challenge to keep everybody interested, basically.
But the thing is, you've just said there, and like you are like more into British Superbikes than what Ash and myself is, but you've just said there yourself you don't know the ins and outs. Whenever I'm watching a championship, I don't want to have to sit down with a fucking rule book to go through to try and figure out what the fuck's going on or who can win what race. I don't want to have to invest that much effort into watching motorbikes.
Why can't they just go around the track and just have it like MotoGP and World Superbikes have it?
I don't know. I don't make the rules.
I know, but it's just
it's
so much easier.
Anyway, that was my last question. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I am going to try and sit down and try and work out the. Because even when we see
it in practice, when we see it in practice, I think we'll understand it better then.
Even whenever they try and like explain it on the TV, it always starts off good, and then by the time they get to the end of the explanation, I'm lost again. I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down and try and work it out. And I'll give you what I think next week. Right. So we have to get to the end of this podcast because we've been going for ages.
Yeah,
we're into the 2-hour mark now.
Right. The Who Am I then?
Right. So last week's Who Am I, Ash? Give it to us.
Do you want me to read them out?
Give us the clues. Yeah.
Yeah, so the clues on I have put them on the dock if you have a look.
Yeah, I've seen that. You put them on now.
So they were born in America in 1958. Their first MotoGP was in South Africa in 1983, and their first win of the Daytona 200 was in 1986. Did anybody get it right?
Big Dazza got it.
Did
He said he
what,
thought
on his first guess.
Yeah. Whether he's Googling it or not, I don't know, but I doubt he does, but he might have to Google next week, that's for sure. So he says he thinks it's Steady Eddie Lawson, and then tonight we got an email, like I said, from Harvey Price. He had a couple of questions, and at the bottom, he just said Eddie Lawson. I don't think he's signing the email Eddie Lawson.
No.
I don't think he's trying to
pretend. They're both correct, yeah. So Harvey Price and Big Dazza, they got it right as Eddie Lawson, yeah.
Apart from that, nobody else has emailed in, but like, we're slowly.
But you know the guy that you originally guessed, Sam.
Kevin Swans.
Yeah, he was really good mates with him.
Yeah.
So,
but you said it was the Daytona. I thought he won the Daytona, but when I think he won the Daytona the year either after or before.
Yeah, well,
because I watched a documentary about him, and he said something about Daytona. So whenever you gave them clues, I was like, "Oh, I think that's Kevin Swans," but obviously I was wrong. That's why I just started spitting out American names until eventually I got it. This week, Chippy, do you want to give us the clues?
Yes. So I'm going to keep it a bit vague this week because I want to give Big Dazza a bit of a challenge. So the first clue is I was born in July 1961. I've just realised my mum was born in July 1961, but it's not her. Second clue, I had a strong Grand Prix career and claimed fourth in the 500cc class in 1990. And the third and final clue is I also won 3 British Superbike titles.
Well,
Scooby. I'm not going to say what clue, but one of the clues I really focused on, and I went over and over and over again as to who it could be, and in the end I couldn't think. And this is the first week where I've had to Google it to even get an idea, and I was absolutely kicking myself but I never would have got it. But as soon as I seen it, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" But I never would have got it at the same stage. So really good one, really good. Good to keep it vague.
That makes me happy.
Good to keep it vague. Really, really good clues because obviously they're factual, but they're still just vague enough. I don't know if anybody will get it without Googling it. If you have to Google it, Google it. Play the game with yourself. Just try and figure it out. If you can't, don't feel bad if you have to Google it, and then email us in and we'll just read it out in the show and we'll pretend you didn't Google it. Don't worry. The okay. Google police. The Google police aren't going to. Well, there might be Google police. Who knows? Use DuckDuckGo. Anyway, the search police aren't going to come busting your door down. We're from the Big Bad Bike Show podcast. You just Googled that answer. You're going to search jail. God, we do talk some fucking shite.
You certainly do.
Right, so I think it's time to wrap the podcast up then, isn't it? I think we've said all we have to say.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of got a bit of a wait now before the next MotoGP. A couple of weeks before it goes to the circuits of the Americas. British Superbikes is going to keep us entertained for the next couple of weeks. I think in a few weeks' time there's going to be another Moto America coming up, and we must be due another World Superbike soon as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, even though it's not MotoGP or whatever, I still think every weekend it's coming thick and fast, where it's going to be race after race after race. So, keep listening.
This for me is where the season starts.
Yeah,
I'm so happy British Superbikes is back.
What I like about British Superbikes is you get British Superbikes and World Superbikes in the same weekend, and you just stick on the TV, and it's just constant all weekend.
Are they on
just
the
never
same
stop.
times though?
Yeah, but if you have the app, you can flick between them pretty well.
I'm probably going to have one set up on my laptop and one on the telly then, I think.
Yeah. But before we go, does any of you want to push the socials, or do you want me to do it?
No, you're
do you want
good
to do
at
it,
it.
Ash?
No, I don't.
I'm only good at it because I do it every week. But
exactly, so crack on.
You could be our social guy. You could be. Like, you're good at the socials. You're good at social media.
I'm not shy.
He only does Instagram.
Yeah, I know. But
and I have to give him the picture.
Hang on, I manage the Facebook group as well. Sometimes when something.
Well, no, we all manage that. We're all on that.
All right.
Right,
Cry
anyway.
about it. Do the socials. I want to go to bed.
If you would like to email us, you can send us any feedback, questions, or just random BS. You can send that to podcast@bigbadbs.co.uk. Feel free to send us anything. You can ask us anything at all. It doesn't need to be about motorbikes. It could be any random thing as to has Chippy started wearing his watch in his left hand again or whatever. This goes out on YouTube, and you can hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that bollocks you do on YouTube. And it's the Big Bad Bike Show. Of course, if you're listening to it on YouTube, you already know that. We're on Twitter, which is the Big Bad BS. It's all one word. Instagram, which is taken care of by Ash, like you said, which is the Big Bad Bike Show. Every word's hyphenated. And we're on Facebook, which is the Big Bad Bike Show. I myself am on Twitter. It's @SoberGasano. Like I said, other weeks it's just pretty much carbon copy of our actual Big Bad Bike Show Twitter. Ash is on Instagram as the Up North Biker, and Chippy is on Twitter as @C_Ballard90. That's pretty much it. That's all we've got to say for this week. I think this week we've talked an exceptional lot of shit.
Oh, God.
Yes, we really have.
I don't know if it's going to do a lot of editing or if this week's episode's just going to be a load of bullshit. Anyway, there's not much more to say, so I'll just have to say goodbye from me and Ash.
Aye, see you in a bit.
And Chippy.
Goodbye.